Alright guys, so here will be a review of NZG's Volvo EC460 in Boverhoff livery. Only 300 of these made, and from the looks of it looks like they will sell out quick. If they actually do or don't, I really don't know, but extremely nice model, and definitely a must-have if you like to collect these 460s or custom colored liveries. First off, I want to say my first impressions of the model, that it was absolutely insane in a good way, and it really is. So we'll get to the review. And I don't normally position excavators like this, but I really like how it looks like that. So it has normal functions. It raises to around right there. The stick comes in perfect, and a good thing about it is you can tell it goes out very nice. And the tool will come in pretty far, and then it'll fold out decent. And it spins at 360, obviously, and now I will get to the start of the in-depth review. The first thing you have are your tracks, and they're extremely nice. I wish that they were a little bit wider, but this is a demolition machine, and it's going to be working on some rubble and whatnot. So it's debatable whether NZG put the thin tracks because of that, or if the bucket version has that. I do not know, so if anyone does, comment below and let me know. But the tracks are pretty thin, as you could tell. But anyway, the triple grouser pads. And in the box they actually give you extra pads. The rest of the undercarriage really isn't crazy, but it's pretty much what I would expect. The 2 steps and then the rollers underneath. And what's pretty crazy about it is, if you look, it actually has those black rollers, and they do roll, which is pretty insane. And then top one unfortunately is fixed, but that's pretty cool that they made those roll. It also has a tensioner, and it loosens the tracks, but there's one problem with that, is they want to come off each link wants to disconnect, so I wouldn't suggest touching that. The other side is the same. And now we're going to go up to the top of the machine. And it's hard to position for review, but I'll just keep it like that. Now, the top of the machine has the orange, which I like best. It's really, I mean, the color is just awesome. I love the color on it. I'll take it any day over the Volvo color. And that's not saying that I never will get the Volvo version of this, which I might down the line, but for now I'm just going to keep this version. But anyway, the demolition version comes with the cab guard, and what's nice about it is it's a full cab guard. It goes in front of the window and overhead, which I like a lot. Unfortunately, it is plastic, but being how thin the ribs are on it and everything like that, you would expect that to be plastic. A cool thing about it though is it has a little warning beacon, which I like a lot. I think that adds a lot to the model. It's not big visually, but I really like how they added that. And it also has the handrail on the side over here, which may be metal. I actually think that this handrail is metal, and that one is metal as well, which is strange, but whatever. The demolition version also has the catwalk on the side to get into the cab, which is pretty cool. I like that too. I like more of the silver than the actual idea of the catwalk, but that's just me. The cab is pretty hard to see into, especially with the cab guard, but here's a general idea of it. It just got the basic controls. It's pretty hard to see into. And now going to the body. And I also want to put out there, I think that this is the perfect balance in color. There's not too much orange, and even though the orange is a very cool color, I think too much of it would have overdid it, and I think that it's perfectly balanced out. You can see it has the Boverhoff decals, and that means demolition. I think in Dutch, because Bellin or Beelin, which is the green and white company, has that Schlopwerken, and I think that I'm 90% sure it's Dutch. It also has the EC460 decals. These railings you see are metal, which is very good. I like that a lot. And coming around to the back, and then once I get past the sides, I'll go to the top. You can see Boverhoff again, and it has the red, I guess that would function, lights. The mirror up here is plastic, unfortunately. The exhaust, I believe, is plastic as well, and the light is as well. One thing that I think they could have did without, because it just looks tacky and just really bad, I really don't like it, is this plastic under counterweight removal. I really just don't like the way that looks at all. If they would have just made the counterweight just flat up top, I think that would have looked better. I really don't like the way that looks. I think that the rest of it's a great model, then you just look at that and it just really takes away from it, but so be it. I really can't do anything about it. It's there, and that's it. This side is very cool, and I think I like this side better than the cab in decal wise, because that huge decal, I think it blends well with the color. And another thing, how the color balances so well. This is metal and this is metal. Unfortunately, with the mirrors, like right there and right there, they're plastic, but again, there's really nothing you could do about it. And then another cool thing is, this is Boverhoff right there, and the decaling is just great, like I said. These two steps are metal, and now we'll go to the top, which is great as well. So here's the top. The top is full of the anti-slip texture. The paint kind of fills it a little bit, but you could still make it out. And these pieces are, I think they're plastic, and it looks like they're put on. It's still unsure if they are, but that's what it looks like. You can see the engine cover is etched through, and it opens, which is very cool to reveal the Volvo engine, and I think that's very cool. You could also see that the texture is painted. There's in the boom, you can see the swing motor and more of the slip texture and all that. Now coming down, another thing that the Demolition version has is this cover to protect the cylinders. And I never seen a machine with that. I have seen quite a few Demolition machines, but maybe I have, but I don't remember. And I guess it's just to protect the cylinders and everything in there. But it also has that, and you can see it also has the lines running to the top of the cylinder. And even though they're plastic, they're thin, so it balances it out. The back of the boom has an extreme amount of hydraulic lines, and naturally it would, because the machine runs auxiliaries because of the Demolition attachments. And they're rubber. I guess, yeah, I would call them rubber. And they just run the back of the boom. But again, they're rubber, but they're thin. So it's really up to you whether you like it or not. Personally, I do, even though, like I said, they're rubber. But being rubber, they're very thin, and they look to scale, which in the end matters. Now, the rest of the boom, which I am quite the fan of, it's the big Boverhoff decal, which is very cool. And it's also got these two small things right here, which are lights, and strangely it has two, which is cool. One points up and one points down, and then it has it on this side as well. You could also see it has these lines running to the cylinder to curl the stick, which is nice as well. And if you're wondering, the cylinders are perfect on this model. They're smooth and they hold the boom in any position you want, which is great. Now over here, it's got the auxiliary lines running down the stick. And even though I don't see machines in my country with that, it looks cool. I like the color. and turning over here, it's got the little warning label up top and the warning thing right there. Now we'll get to the attachment and the linkage system. Now the attachment, my first thought about it was just huge, and it really is. I mean, it's a huge working tool. I like it a lot. I'm not that much of a fan of how it looks or the actual shear itself, but it's just awesome. It spins perfectly. Everything on it operates perfectly. So to start off, it spins at 360, and it also closes. But here's the thing. I don't know if it's supposed to pinch the material or if it's actually supposed to shear it. It looks more of a concrete shear than a metal, because it wouldn't actually grab anything. It looks like it would actually pulverize it. So I'm a little unsure on that. But you can see the colors on it are nice. It's got the lines running to it, and it spins perfectly, and you could hold the jaws in any position that you want, which is great. And it really, the size of it is pretty cool. I like that a lot too, and it also moves perfectly. You could go in just about any position. So now, even though I passed up the linkage, I'm going to get to that. I think the coolest thing about this, compared to normal excavators, it has a cylinder guard there, and I like that a lot. I think that it just looks very cool, and it's basically there for exactly, it's a cylinder guard. Sometimes you see like a cushion on the cylinder. That's actually, it's a spring around, like I don't know the exact material, but it's almost like a tarp material, and it moves with the cylinder, and it'll protect the actual cylinder. But you're not able to take it on and off, because it's actually it's like there's a little, well, actually you could see it. There's a little tab on there, and then there's a channel in there, and it just rides along that, so it'll always stay level. And I think that is just really cool. I like that a lot. It definitely adds to the realism of a whole idea of a demolition machine. So now that you've seen the review, you can get an idea of the model yourself. Definitely a great model. It retails for, I'm going to give an approximate of around 140 bucks. I believe I bought this one for like 130. It really depends on where you're going to buy it from. Definitely worth it. Like I said, there's only 300 made, so I also think that brings up the whole idea of having the model. I didn't just buy it because it's 300 made. I bought it because honestly I think that it looks nice. But to have the idea in mind that there's only 300 made, it makes it a pretty cool idea, and the livery is just spectacular. That's mainly why I bought it. So I hope you liked it. It's not that much different than the bucket version, but in color it is. One thing that I wish I would have done, which it obviously will never happen because they sell the alternative, was put a quick coupler with a bucket on it, only because it's a livery version, and I'm sure that this company runs this with a bucket, but they do sell the bucket version. I'm sure you could just pop the pins and put the bucket on it. But anyway, I hope you liked the review. It's a great model, and if you want to see pictures of it, click the link in the description.